And okay, and I realized that when I learned Masechet Yoma, it talks about the Beit Hamikdash, it talks about the Kelim, it talks about everything. When I learned that Masechet, it taught me how to learn. I started learning how to learn. When I did Gemara many times before, but Yoma was very special to me, and I learned how to learn. Masechet, put the AC on a little higher, please. Yeah, it's okay. Masechet Eruvin, that talks about measurements from here to tomorrow. When the first 12 pages of this Gemara, I thought I was never going to make it. I said I'm just going to die on this. I'm never going to get. It's like swimming, but not knowing how to swim. That's how hard it was for me. But whatever, Baruch Hashem, I learned how to love. This Gemara, this Masechet, taught me how to love measurements, how to love Lehi and Korah and Mevoy and a Hatzir and all these things, all these different situations. The Torah, if you just keep it on you, it's going to change you. I'm going to make that very clear, and that's why this Masechet is so important to me. Okay, we say Hadran. What does Hadran mean? We will return to you. Why? Because we love you. And every Masechet, you have to think about how long it takes for a person to finish a Masechet. You go through it. It sees so much of your life, right? It sees so much of your life. Think about it. Every day, you go to work. Every day you make sure to learn. So you're learning Gemara every day. But that Gemara sees so much of your life. Right? You understand, Dave?
I don't.
Your Gemara is with you the whole time you're learning it.
Gemara. How have I?
Well, you should try. Art scroll. Best thing ever. Best thing ever. Best thing ever. We can do it together. But the purpose is understanding that when you continue learning Torah, it evolves. I don't know how Tylenol works. I do not know. But I know if I take it, if I have a headache, it goes away. Sometimes I need to take it twice. You understand? How did the Torah work? I don't know. But I know that Hashem said that He created the Yetzer Hara and He created the Torah as the Tavlid. That's what I know. And I work off that. Everything else is, I don't know. I don't need to know. I need to know how a car works. I just know I get in, it turns on, it goes. How the internet works. I still don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know. It's not important to me. All I know is I have the wire that's in the wall. I have internet.
When fax machines first came out.
Yeah, right. That's a big one. That's a big one. So now.
What's a fax machine?
What's a fax machine? So we're gonna do the Masechet. Rabbi Shimon Omer, right? So you're actually, I'm gonna read. I want to read a part over here that's very important. Go to Nassau. Go to Parashat Nassau Yud Aleph, who has the Hebrew. It's Resh Bet. Who has the English? It's Nassau Yud Aleph. So figure it out. I'm gonna go to where it says V'hainu de'amrim b'midrash Shabbat. So this is also important to understand because I was having a conversation with my Havruta, Rabbi Ariel Yeloz, who very interestingly enough, one of his students listens to the class, and I mentioned his name before, and he showed a picture of me to his rabbi, my Havruta, and he goes, "Do you know him?" P.S. We're learning 7 years. We're almost done with all the Moed together. This is how much thank God. So it's really a small world. Or as Rabbi Katz would say, it's a very large world. And that's why there's no what's it called? There's no coincidences. So go to where it says, Dehainu de'amrim b'midrash Shabbat in Kohelet. You guys have it? Someone say where it is.
Yeah, third paragraph.
What's the page number? No, I'm sorry, the English for the art scroll. Whoever has the art scroll. You have Hebrew and you have English. There's 2 sets of books here. So I'm trying to get you the English, the page for the English.
What's the Derush?
Yud Aleph.
It's like the 3rd or 4th paragraph.
It starts with Dehainu de'amrim midrash Shabbat in Kohelet. Let's go, boys. Let's find this thing. It's page 160 or 158. 159. Third time's a charm. 159 at the top. Now listen to what it says. The Zera Shimshon says something amazing. He says, why is this important? Because we were talking about where do you know where do you get this concept of a siyum? Where does it come from? Where do we learn that when you finish learning something, you make a party? Where? From where to where? So there's 4 different sources. He says it's a Gemara in Shabbat. that says Abaye, whenever a student would finish a piece of Torah, he would make a party, and he'd make the party for the boy, for the Surba de Rabbanan, for the Tamid Acham, and he make a party. Why? Because he fit. That's one thing. Then there's another source in Megillah, and there's another source in Moed Katan, and then there's another source where I said was Mishleh. Tom, this is from the time we were learning. This, what I'm about to say. Remember, we said, how do you know that you make a celebration when you finish a piece of Torah? Okay. And we said, remember, we said in the beginning of the art scroll, the Hakdama, it said, what we learned a thing in what's it called? It's over here. We learned a thing in Midrash Shabbat Kohelet, about Shlomo HaMelech. Yes. Remember? So then the next day, I find it in here. Wow. I find it in here. From where to where? No, it's impossible. It's literally impossible. So let's look inside and see where is the source of making. I said, come on, it's a great one, Mike. No, where do we know that we do it? What's it called? Hey, take this one. Okay. All right, right here. Okay, so this is fresh. We're starting. I'm finishing my sechet, and we're learning where Baruch and Chavod. Come sit with us. We're learning where we know we make a what's it called? Where do we learn we make a siyum or a party when we finish a masechet? Okay.
Sudas mitzvah.
Sudas mitzvah. Okay, but
why?
That's a good question. Let's figure it out. So it says in Rashi Rabban Kohelet, it says the Rabbi Eliezer, it says Mikan sheosin seudah legomra shel Torah. This is where we know that when you finish that you make a seudah when you finish one part of Torah. Why? The Torah nikret kala shelanu. The Torah is called our bride. Our bride. You understand?
We say that every Friday night.
That's Shabbat. The Shabbat. We're talking Torah.
We talk about the Shabbos kala. It's a kala. The Torah is our kala.
Yes. Well, we say Torah. We say Shabbat.
Shabbat.
We say Shabbat. Kala.
But it's our kala.
It is. But Shabbat, but the Torah is also your kala.
Correct, exactly.
You got two kalot. All right, ma kala. So how do you compare? So the Midrash in Shemot explains, just like a bride gets 24 types of jewelry, so too the Torah has 24 books. Tanakh is constituted of 24 books. So it's a famous thing in the Gemara that the bride has 24 types of jewelry. So Ozzy, when you get married, God willing, one day, okay, and she tells you she wants 24 pieces of jewelry, or she says she wants something nice, just realize you got off easy, because she's technically supposed to get 24. So if she wants one nice thing, it's okay.
What does my Rebbe say?
What does he say?
If you want shalom,
buy it. You want shalom? Buy it. Buy it. Just buy it.
Shalom, buy it.
Buy it. Just purchase it. Just buy it. So the question is what? The Zera Shimshon asks, שהסעודה הזאת היה ראוי לעשותה בהתחלתנו מסכתה חדשה ולא בכוונה. If you're going to tell me that the Shabbat, that the Torah, the Masechet that I finished is my bride, then we should be having the Seudah in the beginning. You don't have a Seudah with the bride after 120 when she dies. Yeah, when you finishes the marriage. No, you do it in the beginning of the marriage. So if the Kala, boys, you just had falafel, the guy. So again, do you understand the question? The question is, Reuven, if the Seudah, if the Torah that we learned represents a Kala, because we said she's supposed to be iced up with 24 types of tachshidin, the Torah has 24 books. If that's true, why do we not have the Seudah in the beginning? Just like we do with the bride, we have it right away. We have the party, right? We have the Seudah right away. You don't have it after 120. That's a good question, right? Huh? No, because you're never going to get through 24 books. Moving right along. All right. Just like we do the first day when they get married, Sheva Barachot, right away. You start with the bread and the wine and everything. Right? Beyom kenisata kala betenu. Just like the first day when the kala comes into the house, right? And not in the day when she leaves the house. The whole thing is that you're comparing the Torah, which is a kala, right, to the Seudah mitzvah. You're connecting the two. But Seudah mitzvah by a kala is done in the beginning. When you finish a masechet, it's only when you finish, done at the end. So why would I do it that way? I should technically, if you want to say it's like a bride, then do it in the beginning. Don't do it at the end. Okay? V'yesh lomar, here comes the answer. In a Gemara Kiddushin, it's a gorgeous Gemara. If you tell a woman that you're going to half mekudeshet her, you're going. What is that? Help me out over here. Yeah, half married. What does that mean? If a man says to a woman, "Half of you shall be married to me," the Kiddushin is invalid and she's not betrothed to him at all. Meaning what? If you say you can't do a half, it's either all or none. Exactly. The Gemara agrees with you, Dave. The Gemara agrees with you.
But there's no half Jewish. Either or you are.
Either are you're not. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. You go upstairs. That's the who knows
Circuit
the
breaker?
circuit breaker.
Phone
You know
looks
what it
good
is?
anyway.
Actually, no, I'll call it in. Hold on.
I'll call it in.
I'll tell you why. Because we have our electric is Yashan, and my Tesla takes up a lot of electric, so sometimes it happens. What can I tell you?
Blame it on the test.
Sorry.
I'll do it.
So look, don't let this stop us. Okay, tell her when she answers. Stephanie. So the Gemara says that there's no such thing as there's no such thing as it, because we said keep on moving. We're not going to stop learning. You know the story about Acham Ovadia Yosef, who was walking on a Friday night with two Abrechim, and a snake is coming right by. They're walking through an alley, and the snake was coming, and a snake in the street, which does happen. And he would not allow. And the guys are saying there's nowhere else to get. The shul is like right there. So you know what Hakam Ovadia says? He tells the snake, if the Satan sent you, it's not going to work. I'm still going. And the snake slithered away the other side. When Hashem knows that you're going through no matter what happens, because everything's a test. So if it's coming from you, and I know that the Satan is coming to me, and I want to tell Satan, I'm still doing it. So this ain't going to work. You're wasting your time. And if you genuinely mean it, by the way, it's not just you're not playing chicken. If you genuinely mean it, then it will go away. There's another story about Acham Ovadia, since we're on the topic. He was on. I heard this firsthand from his son, Rabbi Chaim Kanievski, the chief rabbi of today, that he were on a trip they were on a plane from Texas to JFK. You know this, okay? From Texas to JFK, and one of the airplane, the engines went down. Okay, and Rabbi Chaim Kanievski says that everybody was going crazy. He said nobody looked Jewish. The whole place, nobody looked Jewish. They were the only two, whatever. Nobody looked Jewish. Everyone is freaking out. Some woman comes screaming to the rabbi and starts saying, "Rabbi, pray, pray." So Rabbi Tzak makes a side comment. He goes, "All of a sudden, she's Jewish." All of a sudden, she's back online. So anyway, so Rabbi Tzak looks out the window and he sees the mountains were 20 meters away. He said it looked like they were 20 meters away. That's the plane's going down. He turns to his father. He calls him Maran. Maran is what we call him. He says, Maran, maybe we have to pray. We should. So he calls him in Hebrew. He calls him Pahdan. You scaredy cat. Leave me alone. I'm in the middle of I'm almost done with finishing this Yom. Leave me. This emet. I heard it firsthand. And the plane landed in Memphis, Tennessee, I think, or one of those areas. And the pilot got on the loudspeaker and said, nobody gets up because in the merit of that old man that we're alive. So he gets on, and everybody clapped, and they got up first.
Wow. So the
moral of the story is that don't make jokes. The moral of the story is that no matter what happens, understand it's a test from Hashem. And the Satan is going to try to get you not to learn every chance he gets, whether it be your wife, your work.
Not just learning, even the Vedas.
Huh?
The Satan tries to see.
Yes, but specifically learning Torah, anything not to learn Torah. You want to read Tehillim all day long? Do it. Just don't learn Torah. Rabbi Chaim says that. Rabbi Chaim says that it's crazy. Rabbi Chaim says that the Satan rather you sit and learn Tehillim and read Tehillim all day long and not open up a Gemara of Halakha or Musar or Gemara or anything like that. Because Torah, you don't understand what you're doing.
It's a big thing. Baal Shem Tov is very.
I say Tehillim every day. Relax, buddy. I say Tehillim every day.
You got to put it out there.
If I'm telling you that I myself say, just because listen, you do. If you read, you have a problem. Take it up with the Rabbi Chaim.
I'm just telling you the Baal Shem Tov has.
I'm very aware, and the Baal Shem Tov wants you to learn too. He doesn't want you to read Tehillim all day long without learning.
But I'm just saying.
So what are you just saying? What is the just saying?
Just saying is this.
Because I didn't say don't say Tehillim. I said.
It used to be people could only say say Tehillim. They couldn't learn, right? There's people coming and all they can do is their little tefillos and just saying Tehillim. That's all they can say. There's something very important about it. Seems to diminish that. That's
Okay,
all.
why are you so sensitive and worried about it? You're worried about the specific instead of the general. We're talking general. We're not talking exceptions to the rules.
No, but I tell you.
Yes,
I
if a
tell you what
person
I'm
can't,
saying.
if a person can't learn and he's going to read Tehillim all day, yes, I agree. But we're not talking about that.
Well, who else is reading Tehillim all day? Someone who can't learn.
Excuse me. I know people whose mothers read Tehillim all day long.
That's beautiful.
There are people that read Tehillim all day long.
Puts it down.
Okay, listen. But take what I'm telling you for the good, not for the bad.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. There we go. So now again, the Gemara Kiddushin, a tough crowd. The Gemara Kiddushin says if you say half of you is going to be betrothed to me, doesn't work, right? That's what it says. Ve'im ken, and there so kol od shelo gamano. The same thing if you don't finish the masechet. Hakidushin enam halim. Venikret hetzer mikudesh. Meaning if you finish half of the Gemara, you cannot call it your own. Just like the woman who's a kala.
You can't make a siyum.
You can't make a right. Ubayom shanu gomrim otan. The day that you finish her, as halina kiddushin v'nisui. Now it completes. Sheme'aha shelamadu otan. Now that I learned it, right? He tahat yadenu. It's mine. It's mine. Ve'az shayach la'asot haseudah. Then it's worthy to you for you to make the seudah. So he said, why can't you make the seudah? Why don't you make the seudah in the beginning? Just like if you remember, we're comparing the Torah to a kala, and he's saying that a seudah, making a meal after you finish something, you should be doing the same. You should be you learn it from the kala that you have a meal. But if that's true, then do it in the beginning, just like the woman, just like the kala. Why would you do it at the end? Because he's explaining that you can't have betroth a woman. You can't marry her half, just Monday through Wednesday. Doesn't work that way. It's got to be all on. Same thing with a Gemara. You cannot own it unless you complete it. You cannot call it because
you cannot make a siyum.
Because it's not yours.
Right, because you didn't.
Because it's not yours. But once you learn it, once you finish it, and now don't worry about understanding every word. It doesn't work that way. The Torah is so in depth, you're never going to. It doesn't work that way. You do. Everybody does what they can. You understand? But what's the idea? Consistency. Consistency is the number, right? The first thing I ever finished here in Efrat was with this guy, Mesilah Yesharim together. That was a big deal, right? That was great.
During COVID.
During COVID.
That was great.
That was great. And then he dished me.
Nice try. Nice try. Nice try. Nice
You don't want to learn with people?
We
It's not on me. You used to complain about going to 845 Chabad.
I said
Then we
let's
went
go
to early, now
early.
it's too early. But then we went to early and you complained.
No.
Remember, the Midrash in Kohelet says the word specifically, finish the Torah. Legomra shel Torah, of. Velo bigmar, not finishing the Torah. You don't finish the Torah. It doesn't work that way. You finish a part of the Torah. And since that's not possible, la'asot nisuyin ve'chupah belo seudah, by the way, you know, it's a wedding has to have seudah. Otherwise, you have to have seudah.
Same with the finish of a siyum or whatever you have to do. The sudas.
And by the way, even more, the Gemara in Ketubot says that if it was no seudah, there's no nisuin. It doesn't work. If there's no seudah, there's no kiddushin.
Where's that brought down, by the way?
Masechet Ketubot, right here.
That
in the beginning.
Not a meal. You didn't acquire the whole learning.
Everyone has it. No, we're talking about the wife first. And it says the Gemara says in Ketubot, if you don't have a meal, which everybody does, if you don't have a meal, the marriage is no good. It's not real. It's crazy. You have nisuin, you have kiddushin, and now you create seudah to it. ומטעם זה בתולה נישאת ליום רביעי ולא ביום ראשון. That's why a betula, right? A new betula, whatever. Yeah, you marry her. You done?
No, that's what it is.
You marry her on a Wednesday. You don't get married on a Sunday.
People may not know.
Why? Because Sunday everybody's busy with Shabbat and they're not going to make the seudah properly. Yom Revi'i, everyone's just going to start to prepare for Shabbat. So therefore, that you understand? The seudah for the wedding is so important. It's so important that's why the Hachamim said get married on a Wednesday. Don't get married on a Sunday, because if you get married on a Sunday, it's going to be harder to make the seudah because you're coming off Shabbat. But if you get married on a Wednesday, you have plenty of time to prepare.
Because everyone makes
wedding's day on a Sunday.
I got married on a Wednesday. It's the cheapest night of the week. The cheapest night of the week.
Me too, Tuesday.
But
In Israel, they get married on Thursday, so they go right into the Suda. And
Fridays.
Right.
It used to be Fridays.
Okay? So, and then look at what it says. It says, Kach, im lo nasa seudah bigmat Torah. So if he didn't do a seudah when he finished the Torah, ena nikrat gemura. It's not called completed. If you finish a masechet and you don't have a seudah, it's not called completed. V'nimsa she'aseudah hi gamar haTorah v'masechta. And you see that the seudah itself is the gamar haTorah and the masechet. Meaning, the end of the day, you need to have a seudah. And by the way, you should know we all know what the Satan's name is. Satan's name, we don't have to say, it's spelled Samech Mem Aleph Lamed. Huh? Samech. Sin. No.
Sin.
No.
Yeah, sin, not circle.
Circle.
No.
Samech, the name of the Samech Mem. Is
Yeah.
Samech.
Oh,
Samech Mem Aleph Lamed.
Sorry, fellas. It's Samech Mem Aleph
It's like
Lamed.
Sam Others.
You're saying Satan.
No, you think Satan.
Yeah.
What's the definition of Satan, by the way? Agitate. What does Satan do to you all day? Agitate you. He tells you, go do this. Right? So what is Samech Mem Aleph Lamed stand for? Seudat mitzvah en la'asot. The Satan will do anything he can not to get you to make a seudah mitzvah. Because it's a completion of masechet, it now becomes yours. And that's exactly what the Satan doesn't want you to do. It's crazy. Okay? Let's continue. So now, by the way, it's same thing. We're going to jump. No, we're not going to jump. V'zeh she'amar, it says Shir Hashim, novet titofna, right? Sweetness of the drops. Right? Siftotayich, right? What's the pasuk? Hazan. Hazan Haver. What's the pasuk? Siftotayich. We're straight. We didn't skip. It says, V'zeh she'amar katuv, Shir Hashirim. Kilomar ki novet titofna siftotayich, which means what? Tamid beli. What does that mean? The sweetness is always on my lips. What does that mean? Talking about Talmud Torah is always on my lips. I'm always on Torah. The Hainu, what? The Kala. The Kala is the bride. Torah is a bride. What do we say for? Huh? Right, exactly, right. Kala, Devash, Halab, Tahal, Shonech. Kala is the bride, right? Devash is honey and the Halab is milk. That's under your mouth. Why? Because you're always talking Divrei Torah. So the Kala is the Torah. So it's always on your lips. It's always on you. He could talk. It's okay. You have a question, Nazi? He's allowed to ask. Water, we got water.
No, he said like water.
What's like water? Torah is like water. Zohar says it. The Zohar says, what do you mean? Right? The Hainu Seudah. What does that mean? My clothes are going to smell good. What does that mean? Le'olam haba. Why? Because what do you wear in Olam haba? All your ma'asim tovim and all your mitzvot and all the Torah that you learned. There's no physical clothing. There's no Zara in Olam haba. But all the clothing that you wear is dafka, all your mitzvot and ma'asim tovim that you did. I called you out by name. Let's go. Don't worry about it.
I'm not worried.
Okay, maybe it should be a little bit. I mean,
It wouldn't help.
that's very good.
I'm here.
All right, good. So you just in time for the siyum. Okay, so again, yeah, I'm doing a siyum. Thanks for caring. I did. Ish. Oh, I can't remember what I did yesterday.
You want to play.
Right. The kol mitzvot ma'asim tovim she'anu osim. So all the mitzvot that you do in this world is going to be your beged in olam haba. You understand? There's no physicality in olam haba. It's in Shir Hashirim, but no, actually that's in. Hold on. Shir Hashirim. Hold on. Actually, we know this in the Zohar. It says there, right there. It's taught by the Kabbalists. 9. Etz Haim. You want Etz Haim? It's here. There's Etz Haim right here. You want to look it up? That's what it says. And that's what it is. That's why Shabbat, boys, on Shabbat, Ozzy used to wear a velvet suit jacket that I remember. I want you to tell your mother that you want to start wearing the jackets again. Do not, just because you live in Israel doesn't mean you shouldn't dress nice for Shabbat. The Zohar, watch yourself. Listen to me. By the way, the Rabbi Akiva asked. Oh, they asked Rabbi Akiva.
Zara is an Olam haba now, you know? He's wearing the jacket on Sabbath. Zara's an Olam haba now.
The Zohar says what you wear on Shabbat is what you're going to wear on Olam haba.
White.
So that's why, no, prestigiousness, prestigiousness,
Exactly.
royalty, royalty, Thomas, royalty. Are you royalty or not?
A suit?
Do you want to wear royalty clothes or
I
not?
do not want to wear a suit.
Yes, you do.
I want a robe. I want a robe like his.
It's called a jalabiya. I didn't call it a robe. Do me a favor. It's called a jalabiya. Jalabiya.
I'm
Jalabiya.
not allowed to wear one because I'm not in that.
We accept you. You came to us, you buy us first, and then you guys went to Europe. We're all in the same place. Actually, yeah, somebody actually gave me one as a present. As a gift. Yeah, it's still in Brooklyn.
You don't want it. If you don't want it, I'll take it gladly.
It was nice, but whatever. All right. So anyway, what are we saying? We're saying that what the mitzvot that you wear, that's going to be old because we know what it says. There's not a mustard seed is not going to survive Olam Haba. Boys, a mustard seed does not survive in Olam Haba. Really? A mustard seed is something so small. From mustard. There's no even something as small as a mustard seed. It's in Olam Haba. There's no physicality. Everything here is limited. All this is limited. So even a mustard seed says, but we use these things so we can understand what we're talking about, because otherwise we got nothing.
Suits will make it.
If you got the right suit, you're very happy. Listen, I wear a suit every Shabbat. I'm doing fine. I have no complaints. By the way, don't you want to dress the best?
Absolutely, but
How did you dress in the States?
For each his own.
Excuse me.
For each his own. You
Answer
have
my
to have
question.
a Shabbos. You have to have cover. You can't say.
What did you wear in America?
I'm not wearing a suit. Joseph's not wearing a suit. We're gonna use the state.
Yosef wears exactly what he wore in Florida.
Thank you.
What, Ari? Stay out of this, Ari. Ari, what did you wear to shul on Shabbat? Boys, shh. What did you wear on Shabbat?
Trying to get rid of everything from the States.
Yeah, real estate too, tough guy. Watch yourself. Mike, what did you wore a suit and tie every Shabbat. What did you wear? What did you wear in America? When you went to shul?
I wore
What was
a
the-
nice
It's not the point.
Do you think
I understand.
Let me ask you something. You think Avram Avinu had a suit on?
Rabbi
He
Yehuda,
had to be big day
why are you setting yourself up
No,
for
because
failure?
listen,
I'll
he
answer
was
you.
wearing a suit with
It
a
ain't
tie.
gonna be pretty. I'm just letting you know. So hold on. Rabbi Yehuda for a Sunday afternoon would change from his regular clothes to a colored garment just to pray mincha.
Hold on, that's not a suit. Yeah, big day Shabbat. No one's disagreeing with that. Change your clothes and honor Shabbat, but it doesn't have to be a suit.
Okay, I'll give you fine. I'll help you. Whatever you wear on Shabbat, do you not wear any other day of the week?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Yes,
Good.
yes.
I have separate socks also, by the way.
Different clothing. for
Nice.
Shabbat.
Shabbos Begodim.
That's nice.
Different clothing for
That's
Shabbat.
good. Then you're all in.
I never buy.
I'm out of here.
I never buy.
L'chaim to that.
L'chaim. Okay, boys. Okay, come on, let's keep going. All right, so okay, fine, good. Okay, hold on. Oh, this is great. This is great. And this is how you know you're only supposed to learn what you like. You're supposed to learn. Everybody in this room is veered towards a certain topic, whether it be Musad, whether it be Gemara, whether it be Halakha. Halakha you like, right? Whether it be,
I love the
Chumash. Bye, buddy. So to say what? To say what? That why? Because it's asur to get married to a woman without seeing her once. Why? Because you need to know that you're gonna like her.
How does a blind man get married?
Marries a blind woman. I don't know. So you have to look at my second kiddushin. I don't know. I'm talking about the kalal. I'm not talking about pirat. I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer. I have no clue. I have zero idea. ומשום דאב בזיווגו אסור לאדם לקדש את אישה קודם שיראנה, because a man is asur to marry a woman before he sees her. Why? shema lo timsah hen be'ena, because you might not like her. You might not like the girl. I like blonde. She's this one or the beep up. I don't know. Whatever. It don't matter. Everyone's got their own whatever, right? But so it's asur to marry a woman without actually seeing her. You're gonna marry.
The Hasidim do that. They see it. They see it
Once.
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 They see it once. That's it.
Well, but they saw it.
You heard of the Tasha Rebbe?
Of course.
So I know one of his Talmidim, El-Hanan, Yoel El-Hanan Paplanosh, and he married a woman without ever seeing her.
Without, I'm sure you saw it once.
Never saw her.
Okay, all right, you got to ask the Tasha Rebbe.
Tasha
The
Rebbe.
picture might count. You saw a picture?
He's in Shemaim.
So ask the son. Ask the Tasha's son. Why not?
I could. I don't know if I care.
I'll ask. I know their son-in-law.
You shouldn't care.
I'll ask him.
Okay, call him.
Supposedly there's
All right, the Torah he lanu. Now the Torah is our kala. It says senuah, our modest kala. לפיכך אין אדם לומר בה אלא ממה שליבו חפץ. Therefore, you can only learn something that you like. How are you going to? If I'm going to learn the halachot shahita or the laws of I don't know tehuna, that has nothing to do with me. I'm not going to feel. I'm not going to connect it. I'm not going to care. You need to establish a connection. You learn Torah. I learned this. I learned something so much from this, from Eruvin. Something that I thought I'd never finish. Because it was so difficult and dry in the beginning, but then all of a sudden I start loving measurements. How is that possible? Because you kept at it. Consistency, Baruch. Consistency. The way to love Torah is consistency. The more you do, the more consistency you do. I have a friend, which I will not name names, that I would text him every morning to go to shul. And he would come up with all things. Yes, sometimes, no, sometimes. He would go drive past shul, and sometimes he would continue driving and go home. Can't do it. He couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. And he fought. He fought like a beast. He literally fought like a beast. And he would go, and he would go, and he wouldn't go, and he would go, and he would go 6 months, 8 months. All of a sudden, I got a text from him one day, and he says, I didn't go to shul today. And I'm upset. I'm pissed off that I didn't go to shul. I missed it. I felt it inside. That was one of the happiest days of my life.
like me last Thursday. It's a big milestone.
Because when you see the pivot actually happen, because I could talk to people till I'm blue in the face. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But it's also contingent on me. You go to a gadol, his retention rate is much higher because he's more tahor. So anything he says, I could say something to my wife 10 times. Rabbi Lipschitz said it, all of a sudden she's in. I should have came in 6 months ago. You understand? So, but that was because, and now he'd send me another text later on. Okay, another month later, he says, "I'm starting to feel it. I'm starting to feel it. I'm starting to get it. The connection start. It's called muscle. What's it called when you work out?
Muscle memory.
Not muscle memory, like connection. When you connect from one muscle to the other muscle.
Ligament.
No. A cramp. It's called a cramp. You understand that? What is it about? It's about making the connection. It's about making the connection, and that's what this Gemara taught me. It made the connection for me. I'm not even kidding. It made the connection to learn something that you might think halakha. I could jump up for joy when I learn halakha. Zev, right or wrong, we learn halakha in the morning. Sometimes it blows your mind away. Sometimes. Okay, let's continue. All right. This is also what it says in the Gemara on Avodah Zarah. Batehila haTorah nikrat Hashemo shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. In the beginning, we have a pasuk in Tehillim that says, Ki im betorat Hashem hefso, ubtorato yegeh yomam v'layla. Which means what? That Ki im betorat Hashem hefso. If you desire the Torah of God, then what is it? It says Torato, your Torah. What does that mean? It's either his or it's mine. What does it mean? So in the beginning, when you're learning Masechet, it's not yours. You don't own it. So chill your bones. It's not yours. You're getting involved. You got to earn your stripes, as they say. But you're there. Now, all of a sudden, you're there. Now, when you finish it, Uptorato comes in. It's my Masechet. I know a story I'm going to tell you. That I have the name written down, a Moroccan rabbi. My Haruta Acham Ariel Yelos told me the story. I believe he heard it third hand. Again, the Mesurat, to get it down. You listen to this? Because Mr. Brenner, you never heard this story for sure. I guarantee it. Thomas, you too. The guy died. He was very makpida on his time. Very makpida on his time. After the guy died, after 120, he comes to his student in a dream. And he tells him what happened after he passed. This is a true story. I had the name written down. I had like sources. He says, I went to Yom Adin. And okay, I went to whatever I went to, and they said, okay, right this way. I'm going to Olam Haba. I'm on my way to Olam Haba, and one of the angels comes running and screaming, wait, come back, wait. He goes back, so he's freaking out now. What? It's like getting audited twice. You want to get audited twice? I don't want to get audited once.
You don't even want to be audited.
That's what I said. And now it's twice. Oh, come back.
I avoid saying the word audit.
Yeah, I agree. And Shalom, the zechut by learning, nobody should get audited.
Again.
Okay. So they called him back and they said, you were very makpid, but there was one day that what he would do after praying in the morning, he would put his head down for 3 minutes. And one day he laid his head down for 5 minutes. An extra 2 minutes. Bitul Torah for 2 minutes. So they said because of that, you have to just walk past the gates of Gaon. That's what they tell him. This is listen to me, okay? Listen. He goes, okay, you don't have much of a choice. I mean, they take him, all of a sudden, a bunch of books comes and blocks the entrance of Gaon. Like that. From up till down. And the Malach sees this, he takes him to the second gate. And the same thing happens. A whole bunch of books comes, protecting him.
Everything that I finished.
Not allowing him to go in, not allowing to see. 3 times it happened. And this rabbi asked, I have it, it's in my black notebook upstairs. Okay, I have a black small notebook that I write these crazy stories down. And he's asked permission to come and tell him this, to tell this over to his student so he could tell the story over so people will understand the value of time. For 2 minutes, you would have to, and you understand the Torah protects you, I'm it, 100%. But you also need to understand that the value of time. If you're going to lie down, mutar, but why are you lying down? I'm lying down because I'm going to get back up and I'm going to learn, I'm going to do mitzvah, I'm going to do whatever. This is a true story. Okay? And then, by the way, there's plenty of stories like that. But I hate to burst your bubble. It's not going to make you religious. It's not the way it works. The Torah, like we said in the beginning, Hashem created the Yetzer Hara and He created the Tavlin, which is what? The Torah. Learn Torah, that's it. These stories, I can tell you from today to tomorrow, it's not going to make you start going to nets. I promise. Well, you're up anyway. I'm just saying you're up anyway. I can text you and you'll be up. Still don't know what that means. So anyway, so understand the value of Torah. Okay, let's go. So now when it's yours, it becomes Torah. It's yours. And it can protect you. And it will protect you. Vezeu nami, what it says in the Gemara Masechet Shabbat in the beginning, Ki kaem rebi behai masechta lo sheyalete b'masle acharini. Rava, when he was Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, when he's learning one inyan, he wouldn't learn another inyan. He would only learn one inyan at a time. Why? Because it says in Shulchan Aruch Ibn Ezra that what? This is great. That you cannot marry one woman while you're married to another. You're engaged in one wife, you can't now take on another. The Gemara, 1 second, the Gemara, look, go to where it says, hold on. Yeah.
This Rabbeinu Gershom, it's not.
It says Rebbe. Where do you see the Rabbeinu Gershon?
No, I'm saying that to not marry another woman is only.
So
already.
Oh, but he just wrote down the halachot. The halachot still existed.
No, I'm saying, of course you can marry more than one woman.
Oh, the Rabbeinu Gershon. Oh, that's my big thing. With the Sfaradim, never took that. No, we never took that. I can open up your mail and I can marry Torah.
According to the Torah, already a person may marry more.
Okay, look. According to the Torah, right?
Torah rules, the one may not marry.
Marry second wife in addition to his first wife. Number 12. Since the Rabbeinu Gershon instituted a ban against. Okay, fine. So okay, Maran holds the same way. So hate to burst all the Sfaradim bubbles, but apparently you can't do it anyway. So now, Rebbe would not, when he's occupied with one Gemara, boys. What is he?
I figured, okay, Rabbeinu Gershom we hold, but come on, it's mutter, and then why? For what reason? You never took it on.
Ibn Ezra Siman Aleph. Hold on, let's look it up.
Anybody
Ibn Ezra
would agree that they would not marry
Ibn
another
Ezra.
woman.
These guys over here in Wadi Nis, they're doing just fine.
See if you hello. First Siman, Hilchot Pirav V'Ribiyah. Oh boy. Okay. Wait, Aleph Yud. Rabbeinu Gershom. Listen, Mike. החרים את הנושא על אשתו, אבל בימה לא בחיים אסורה. He says that you're not allowed to marry another woman. Basically what it says. Okay.
Oh, but where does it come in the Sephardic world? Where does it come from?
Maran, what do you mean? Maran is Maran. Maran Shulchan Aruch means Maran Shulchan Aruch. Done deal. Maran.
Interesting.
Yeah, I agree with
So
you.
from Rabbeinu Gershom, which what is 12? What's the date on that? 12. I'm trying to think. 1200s maybe.
Earlier.
Earlier. Like
11,000.
1,000.
Yeah.
So from there until what 1600, the Sephardim are still
They
going.
realize it's a big problem having more than one wife, so they decide.
If you have to do shalom, buy it. You gotta buy it. Hajj, how many can I do? I can barely afford the first one.
Especially nowadays.
Okay, let's continue. Let's finish up this one because then I want to go to Al Parasha. So the Gemara says that what? What does it mean that he would only focus on one masechet at a time because he can't marry two women at the same time. So the Gemara, so the Ibn Ezra explains that it really biblical mitzvah, but that's forget it. The point is that you don't marry two women. This is gorgeous. Look what it says. That when you see that Rebbe is involved with the love of one bride, don't ask him about loving another woman. Because don't ask him about another masechet. He's in the middle of one masechet. He's loving masechet berachot. Don't ask him about loving masechet gitin. He's not on that. He's involved all over on this masechet. Don't talk to me about a different masechet. It's amazing. That you understand? You have to love what you learn. Right, which means what? Do not attempt
to divert his attention to the affection of another wife
by interesting him at a different Gemara. Does like, ooh. It doesn't work. You understand? Boys, listen up. And this is what we're finishing. The Yuvan Nami, what it says in Eruvin, Nun Dal, the great Daf of Gemara. The Resh Lakish says, Hatov echol, hatov sheteh. Grab and eat, grab and drink. De alma de azlinan mineh lebe hilula dame. Because the day that you... Hello. Boys, you with me or not?
Yeah.
Someone wrote, Egyptians did not accept the one wife limit.
I am Egyptian, so I have to ask my father.
No, but
my father's in Cairo.
The point is only one official Jew now living there. So.
In Cairo? My uncle Desi Sakkal is the head of the Egyptian society.
How many people live there who are Jewish? One.
I'll ask my uncle Desi, and he'll tell me.
No, a lot of Jews are in the Sinai right now.
Oh, really?
A lot of Israelis, yeah.
My uncle Desi, I don't know if he opened it, if he made it, but he's the Jewish Egyptian society, which, yeah. Huh? Syrians, some Syrians went to Egypt and then went to Brooklyn. The same thing. Cheaper tickets. Hatov echol, hatov sheteh. Right? So Resh Lakish tells, eat and drink. Eat now and eat. Why? Because once you die, the Amad Azlinan Mineh Lebe, because when you die, it's like this world is the what's it called? It's like the Hatuna. Yeah.
With one
Hold on.
Which is Zera Shimshon.
Yeah, jump over here.
In comparison of a Siyam celebration to a wedding.
Okay, right. Because you explain the Gemara in Eruvin where Shemuel, not Resh Lakish, said to his student Rabbi Yehuda, right? Grab and eat, grab and drink. For this world from which we must eventually leave is like a wedding celebration, like a Hilulah. This world is like a Hilulah. But what do you mean? We know that the day of death is the Hilulah. So why you tell me this world is the celebration? After this world is a celebration. Why is Shemuel telling Rabbi Yehuda,
Drink now.
Eat and drink now because it's a celebration. After you check out, it's a celebration. Why tell me now? So he answers, how could you say that this world is a celebration, is a wedding celebration? The other Rabbi said, the Zohar HaKadosh in Ha'azinu says what? The Hilulah is the day that you die, because you're able to get payday. All the mitzvot that you did throughout your whole life. That's why time is so important. Boys, time is so important. Really, it's so important. Listen, if you can't read, listen to a class. Listen, I'm on a story of the day. Okay, a 10-minute clip from it's a Rabbi Azakot in Sapra Shul in Florida.
Daily Amor, you read that?
No, I don't. But I know. But yeah, does he have also the audio?
Yeah.
So you can listen to it. Today I was lying down. I was listening to a class from Rabbi Mansour. I need to close my body needs to relax. But I can't learn. But I don't want to be stagnant. So I'll listen to a class. And guess what? That's the same class I'm listening to all week. I take one class and listen to it over and over and over and over again. Because how else are you going to remember? If I learned something once, I don't remember. I don't know about you guys.
No.
I don't have that memory. My brother, Leon, one time, the guy's good. Not me. I'm staying up all night studying because I can't, like for the test in school, like I couldn't.
I never studied. I never passed.
It's like my daughter said she got a 95 on the test. I go, Cheryl, I said we don't cheat in this family. All right, let's finish this part. So what do you mean? So how could Shemuel say that the day that this world is a Hilulah when the Zohar HaKadosh says that the day you die is a Hilulah?
Because really, the world to come is actually the feast.
You want to give the class?
Not
Oh, no, tough guy with the art scroll, by the way. Omnam halachot nikru. Oh, what do we say in Habakkuk, right? We say it every day. Halichot olam lo. Al tikre halichot ela halachot. Right? What does it mean? Ve'esek Torah, learning Torah is called eating and drinking.
Oh,
Learning Torah is
now
called
we
eating and
understand
drinking.
what Torah is. It's like our life.
What?
Torah's Chaim.
Esek Torah is living Torah. It's different. But that's who you are. You know, that's why I don't like the word religion. We're not a religion. I'm sorry. We are.
We're a nation.
We just are. Well, we are a nation. That's true. But we just are. Huh?
It's called the world. We're a family.
Yeah, Chai Olam. Yeah.
We're all those things. But we're not a religion. You're right. We're a family. We're a nation. Am Yisrael.
You say religious all
I don't say the word religious ever. I never use that word. I don't think I've ever used that word.
You just said it 15 times.
That I don't like the word.
I hate it.
I'm glad we agree.
Get out.
Get out of here. Cut. I don't.
It's not even a Jewish
religion
word.
is not-
It's from Greek.
we just
It's
are.
a Greek word.
You just are. It's nonsense.
Religio.
It's
or
nonsense.
something.
You just are.
There you go.
Right, Mike? You just are. It is who you are. Who you are. Okay? Like the pasuk says in Mishnah, Lechu lahamu lahami. Eat and drink my food. That's why Shemuel tells Rabbi Yehuda, eat and drink, which means what? Spend the time now, because once a person dies, there's no more. You're free from the Torah mitzvot. You get what you get, and that's it. You understand? Now's the time. And don't worry about what level you're going to hit. It's not about that. It's about time. It's not about how much you finish. That's very important to understand. Do not worry about how much you finish. It's not about that. It's about spending time every day. In the morning, and that's more important than finishing a masechet.
Which is also Shalom, buy it. How do you buy it? With your time. It's not money, it's time.
Not good.
Nice.
That's the biggest,
Nice.
most valuable thing you can give.
Very good.
And that's the same with the Torah. You're
that's
giving
the
time
word
to Hashem.
So that's what you're saying.
That's the word for tonight.
Right. Eat and drink divrei Torah. Why? Because ki alma azlina minek halacha she'anu gomlim. Right. The halacha that we're learning now, he dumya de behilula. It's going to be compared to a celebration. She'az mitkadeshet b'masechta lanu. When we finish the masechet, as osim ha'upa v'sudah nisuin, then we're able to have the seudah, and we're able to have the seudah nisuin. Umaseta had bilvadi, and one masechet is called a kala, like it says in Eruvin. Okay, it says alatz ben na'ara aharonit ve'hin iratu. So the Gemara is so funny. It really is very funny. It said, I think it was about Rabbi Hanina. Who was the rabbi there? Just tell me the rabbi's name. No, next page. At the end, they said, well, what's his name? Came late to shul. Rabbi Eli came late to shul. They said, oh, he's busy with his kala at night all night. Meaning what? He's busy learning the masechet all night.
Wow.
So that's why he's late to shul. Leave it alone.
Party.
Yeah, okay, we understand. When you understand that don't worry about we're itching to just zoom. God forbid we went back to what we learned yesterday. God forbid.
That was the shiloh with the Siddiqim. They were busy with learning, and Shema was maybe potter by them because they were so into
Only
the
Rabbi
Yiddish.
Shimon Bar Yochai v'Haverav,
Yeah.
because they did not stop for a second, even for work. But Maran writes, right, and right, Hilchot Tefillah.
They found a way to say Shema through the learning. That's what the Rabbi Nossi says.
Okay, that's right. There's also Osek mitzvah, Patur mitzvah, but
In the shir, they throw it in like kind of thing.
Right. Okay. So all right, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this, and then we're gonna go to the Parashah. You ready, boys? Rabbi Shimon Omer. We said Rabbi Shimon in the last Mishnah says that the Chamim, right, granted. See, he kind of go on a tangent. You forget what the Mishnah is all about. Let's review. The Mishnah says, "Sheret shenitma b'mikdash." If a sheret is found in the Beit HaMikdash, Kohen motzio v'hem yano. A Kohen has to remove it with his sash, like with his belt, right? Ve'lo l'shahot et hatuma, and don't prolong it, right? Because it's sitting at the mikdash and it's tameh, right? Divrei Rabbi Yohanan ben Beroka. Rabbi Yehuda says, "Bizbat shel et shelo lerabot et hatuma." He has to remove it with wooden tongs. Wooden tongs, right? So you don't increase the tumah, right? They had all the kilim, but the wooden tongs, well, instead of metal tongs, you get wooden tongs. Metal is mekabel tumah. Wood does not. You can't make a tree tameh, right? Umehechal motziin oto, and where do we remove it on Shabbat? Mina echal, from the hechal itself. Umina ulam ve'amizbeach, even if it's in between the ulam and the mizbeach. Divrei Rabbi Shimon ben Nanas. I'm sorry. Rabbi Akiva says, "Kol makom shehayavin al zidono karet ve'al shigo hatat misham motziin oto." And he says what? He says, and an area, kol makom, that you are hayav, right, to enter a white tameh. That would, if you go to the mikdash, certain places you would be tameh. If you would, what's it called? If you would, if you go into this part of the Beit HaMikdash, that's why going to Harabayit is dangerous, because if you tameh and you go to the wrong place, it's karet.
Well,
So
that's
you
why
have
you have to go to the mikveh.
Just relax yourself. This is a side point. This is not the moving right along. Chill your bones. Okay? Misham motzina. From there, that's where you have to move the sheretz. Ushar kol mekomot kofin alav pesach ter. But in all our other areas, we cover the sheretz with a copper pot until after Shabbat, and then we remove it. So only in a place where there's tumah, because what? I'll tell you why. If the sheretz, if you touch the sheretz, that's tameh, you become tameh. But if I'm in a place where it's karet, if I have tumah on me, then the kohanim remove it, get rid of it, because it's dangerous. On Shabbat, on
trap an animal.
what?
You're going to trap?
No, it's dead. An alive animal, an alive bug is not tameh. Only a dead animal is tameh, not a live animal. Live animal is nothing, by the way. A dead animal is very interesting. A dead animal is tameh. Very good. So, but in a place where it's not mekabel tumah, which would make it person karet, you put a copper pot on top of it, and you're fine. Rabbi Shimon Omer, this is what we're going to say now. Makom sheitiru lecha hachamim mishelcha natnu lach. Where hachamim told you, they give you, they merely gave you what's rightfully yours. Shelo hitiru lecha ela mishum shevut. Where they weren't making mutar for you to perform an isur deoraita only on something that is a derabanan. So the Rabbi Shimon says they only allow you to do something that is a derabanan, not a deoraita. So he's more mahmir. So the end of the Gemara says, hold on. Rabbi Shimon hechi kai. What's he referring to? Hatam kaeh, right? He referring to the rule, to the halakha that he gave in the Mishnah. Titnan mi shehashich chutz latehum. You come, what when you're outside of the tehum, how much you have alpayim amah? Now, by the way, if you learn Masechet Eruvin, you have a little more. You have like 2,800 amah. It's nice to know, right? But now, if you're outside the tehum,
You have to make.
but even right. But now, if you didn't make it, but you don't, even with that, you have eruv, right? You have the eruv. You still have more than alpayim amah because it's squared. So you have 400 airports. You have really 2,800. So it says now, what happens if the guy gets caught and now it's dark and now it's Shabbat and he's stuck outside the tehum? What does he do? Afilu amah had lo yikanes. Even if he's only short by one amah, he can't go in. He's out. He's out. Right? Rabbi Shimon omer afilu hamesh esrei amah yikanes. Rabbi Shimon says even if he's 15 amah away from the tehum, he's allowed to come inside. Right? Lefi why? Lefi she'en hamashohot mematzein et hamidot. Awesome. Because the guys that are measuring, how do we know alpayim amah? How do we know? You have guys, paid guys that are measuring outside the city. They're not so exact. The guys that are measuring outside the city, you know, how big is your place? 10,000 square feet. Oh, it's really 11,325. But by the way, the world, how long the world for? 6,000 years. Rabbi Akiva says, Habibi, it's not 6,000 on the dot. It's 6,193. But we say 6,000, it's a round number, it's easy peasy. It makes it easy. It's crazy. It's crazy. Okay? Because they make mistakes. And the Tanakama says that you're not allowed to go in. Rabbi Shimon said to Tanakama, he's allowed to come in because they gave you what is rightfully yours already. Meaning it's not a kula. It's probably because of the safek. Is that me or you? I don't think so. They weren't matir you to do something that's deoraita only by shivut, which is derabanan. What's Rabbi Shimon referring to? Hatam kaed kama tanakama shokra koshra. Tanakama said that you're allowed to tie a broken, they have a harp, you have an instrument, you're allowed to tie it with a regular knot. Why? Because it's not going to last. So it's mutar to tie. Look, if you fix a keli on Shabbat, you're fixing a keli on Shabbat, which is asur. You're not allowed to fix mitaken keli. But the Tanakh says that you're allowed to tie with a knot. Why? If I took one of your guitars and cut it and I made a knot, is it going to hold?
No.
On the regular, it's not going to hold without the thingy. Just you tie it regular, it's not going to hold. Amar le Rabbi Shimon onva. Rabbi Shimon says you're allowed to tie it with a bow, but not with a regular knot. He's more mahmid. Why? Because they weren't matir to perform an isud deoraita, right, in the mikdash. That was the isud derabanan. That's his reasoning. Okay, the Gemara ends by saying aniva de lo atel lidei hayub hatat sharu le rabanan. Tying a bow which cannot lead to a hatat, to a korban hatat, even if it's intended to be permanent, is mutar by hachamim in the mikdash. Right, because if this harp breaks inside the mikdash, they will allow you to fix it using a bow. And Rabbi Shimon says will allow you to tie it. Rabbi Shimon would allow you to tie it with a bow. Why? Because that's derabanan, and he's matir you. The Hachamim made rules. The rules that the Hachamim said is if it's isud deoraita, you cannot do, but if it's isud derabanan, you are allowed to do in certain cases. They mekel on themselves, on their own gezerot. Right? Keshira de'ater lidei hayuv hatat lo sharu lebarabanan. But tying a regular knot, a bow, is not the way you tie things regularly. So because it's not the normal way to do it, it's mutar. But tying a regular knot, tying a double knot on Shabbat. Don't tie your shoes double knot on Shabbat. Do not tie, because it lasts. It never undoes. So you're making I know, I stopped doing that. I said, why are you laughing? I stopped doing it.
I actually stopped wearing shoes with laces.
I like the way, by the way, I like the way loafers also.
I don't know when we're.
You wear shoes.
I don't wear shoes.
Don't wear shoes. It says in Gaon
Don't wear shoes. I know a guy that doesn't wear shoes.
With laces.
I kid you not.
Don't talk about it. Excuse me. Hello.
Michal,
Not on this table.
Moshe. We met this guy.
We got
Moshe
Oh,
Rabbeinu.
excuse me.
Moshe, he does not wear shoes.
Where is your muzzle? What are you doing? I said don't say the name. And
You don't know.
There's
He meant
500
Moshe
people who
Rabbeinu.
know.
He meant Moshe
I hope he
Rabbeinu.
meant Rosh Rabbeinu.
Yosef Aaron knows Moshe.
But where they are hayav hatat, if he does it bishkaga, the hachamim will not matir. Look what you did.
That's what
See,
Hashem
look what you
thought,
did.
yeah.
It's no joke. Right? Okay, hadran alach hamotzit tefillin. See, I told you not to say lashon hara. I told you not to say lashon hara. Usikha le masechet eruvin. All right, boys, get ready for something special. Woo! Hadran alach masechet eruvin v'hadran alach. דעתן הלך מסכת דרבים ודתך עליו. לה תנשנה מינך מסכת דרבים ולה תתנשא מינן. ולה בעמה הדן ולה בעמה דעתה. יהיה רצון לפניך אדוני אלוהינו ולאמתנו. שתהא תורתך אומנותנו בעולם הזה. ותהא עמנו לעולם הבא. חנינה בר פפא, רמי בר פפא. נחמן בר פפא, אחאי בר פפא. אבא מרי בר פפא, רפרם בר פפא. Rachish bar papa, Surha bar papa, Adam bar papa, Daru bar papa. Ha'arev na Adonai Eloheinu et divrei Toratcha befirim, u'bimiot amecha beit Yisrael. ונהיה כולנו, אנחנו וצאצאינו, וצאצאי צאצאינו, וצאצאי עמך בית ישראל. כולנו יודעי שמך ולודעי תורת לשמה. ואויבי תחכמני מצוותיך כי העם היא לי. יהי ליבי תמיד בחוקיך למען לא אבוש. לעולם לא אשכח פיקודיך כי בם חייתני. ברוך אתה אדוני למדני חוקיך. אמן אמן אמן. סלע בעת. מודים אנחנו לך. אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו. ששמת חלקנו משבי בית המדרש ולא שמת חלקנו משבי קרנות. שאנו משכימים והם משכימים. אנו משכימים לדברי תורה והם משכימים לדברי בטלים. אנחנו עמלים והם עמלים. אנו עמלים ומקבלים שכר והם עמלים ואינם מקבלים שכר. אנו רצים והם רצים. אנו רצים לחיי העולם הבא והם רצים לבאר שחר. שנאמר ואתה אלוהים תורידם לבאר שחר. אנשי דמים ומדמעה לא יחצו ימיהם ואני אבטח בה. יהיה רצון לפניך. אדוני כשם שעזרתן לסיים מסכת עירובין, כן תעזרן ותבחין במסכת וספרים אחרים ולסיימם, ללמוד וללמד, לשמור ולעשות ולקיים את כל דברי תלמוד תורתך באהבה, וזכות כל התנאים והאמוראים ותלמידי החכמים יעמוד לי ולזרעי, שלא תמוש הספר התורה מפי ומפי זרעי וזרע זרעי עד עולם, ותתקיים בי, והתהלך תנחה אותך, ושופך תשמור עליך, והקיצותה היא תשיחך, כי בי ילבו ימיך ויוסיפו לך שירות חיים, אורך ימים בימינה ובשמאלה עושר וכבוד. אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום. יתקדש וקדש שווה רבה.
אמן.
למה דיבר עתיד לאית חטאה ולחייאה ותאיה ולעסקה ידו לחיימה. ומפני קרתת ירושלים ולשכללה אכלה בגבה, ולמידת פרחנה נוכרעה מן ערה, ולתאווה פרחנה די בשמיה ועתרה, וימי כבושה בריחו ומלכותי ויקרא וישמח פורקרא וקרא ושחרר.
אמן.
וחי יכול וביום יכול וחי לכל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב ובלו אמן. יש ורבה מברך לעולם ולמי המריאה יתברך ושתבח ויתפאר ויתלומם כנעשה ויתהדר ויתעלה הבדלה שמת וקודשה בריחו נהיה למקום ולחתה אשר אתה תושבחתה ולחמדה ואמר בעמה ובלו אמן. על ישראל ועל רבנן ועל תלמידי ההון ועל כל תלמידי תלמידי ההון ועל כל מאן דעסקים באורייתא ודי בהתרא קדישא והדין ודי כל האתר והאתר יהיה להון דכולה שמה רבה חינה וחסדה ורחמין וחיין עריכין וזוהר בחי ופור כאן מקודמה אבוהון די דשמעה ברעה ואמרו אמן. יש מרבה מצ'בה חיים טובים עלינו הכל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומם הוא ברחמיו יעשה שלום עלינו הכל עמו ישראל ואמרו אמן. All right, let's go. Now we're gonna go to Shlach. What's up with these 12 Meraglim, huh? What's going on with these guys?
Supposed to start on the sector right now, by the way.